Good morning and welcome to the Village's second Town Hall meeting of 2021. We are very proud to be a leader in solar energy. And since our designation as SolSmart Gold in 2018, we have over 168 homes who've installed solar energy systems. We're pretty proud of that. And we'd like very much to see our solar power continue and to be used in our industrial areas additionally. We have a nice industrial park and they're state of the art. And so moving in that direction is just a matter of time. So to begin our journey with us today, we have friends from ComEd who are joining us. And Joan Gary, Paul Miller, and Ed Sitar are with us. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Shubhra Govind, our Director of Community and Economic Development. Shubhra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning. And thank you everyone for joining us. This is really exciting. Like the Mayor said, we've had a lot of solar interest from our residents, and we are hoping that through this presentation, we can convey more info to our businesses as well and encourage them to participate in this renewable source of energy. We have everything from mom and pop to Fortune 500 businesses, 3 industrial parks, and I'm hoping that many of them would join in and listen in and participate in the future. We've put together this virtual town hall meeting to make everyone aware of ComEd's energy efficiency and solar programs. The presentation is targeted more towards business owners and also multifamily residential property owners. And ComEd has solar options that include both private and community solar, and different programs, different incentives to help you get started on your solar journey. With that, I would love to introduce our guests. From ComEd today, we have Ed Sitter here, who's the Manager of Economic and Business Development at ComEd. He's responsible for the company's economic development functions, for marketing, promotion, new customer attraction, and large business retention as well. Our first presenter is going to be Joan Gary. She's the Industrial Outreach Engineer at ComEd, and she has over 7 years of energy experience, specializing in ComEd's incentive programs for Hanover Park's industrial customers. And she's gonna make the energy efficiency process easy to navigate. We also have Paul Miller of ComEd's Green Power Connection team. And prior to working for ComEd, he was a residential solar designer at Tesla. So welcome to our presenters. And with that, I'm gonna turn this presentation over to our friends at ComEd. Please take it away. Before I go, actually, I would like to let our attendees know that there is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. As the presentations are being made, you are welcome to type in your questions, and we will take them up as the presentation is going on, and have the presenters answer your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, Shubhra, the other thing someone had asked, we are recording this, or you are recording this as well. So
yes, we are. And we will be posting a link to this presentation on our website. So please be on the lookout for that. For those who are attending, we can send you a link. ComEd, would you be willing to share your PowerPoint as well? Then we can email it to anyone who's interested.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you, Joan. Take it away.
Great. Well, good morning all, and thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you for the opportunity to join you all remotely today and speak here. Like Shubhra said, my name is Joan Gary. I work for Cascade Energy, one of the outreach implementers in the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. And perhaps most important to those on the call today is I'm one of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program outreach engineers and professionals assigned to assist Hanover Park's industrial facilities and businesses apply for incentives. I hope I become a familiar face to you. Today, I'm here to begin helping your organization, your business complete energy efficiency projects and receive those incentives. We're first going to expand our definition of energy efficiency projects and talk about business benefits associated with those projects. We're then going to spend some time discussing ComEd's programs available to make your projects more cost effective. And finally, to close, I'll offer some resources and either first steps or next steps available to you to kick off your organization's projects. Throughout my presentation, feel free to drop questions in the chat box. Maybe Shruba, you can help me keep an eye out for those comments and questions coming in so we don't miss any.
There is a question that just came in. Would we be sharing this PowerPoint on this presentation on YouTube? Sure. We will have it recorded and we will share it on the Village's YouTube channel.
Great. So in our first section, let's discuss the benefits of energy efficiency. My goal at the end of this section is to convince you that any time your organization is spending capital to complete a project, or if you're just trying to get that project approved through your organization, reach out to the energy efficiency program. If you're an industrial facility, you can connect with me directly. Or if you're a commercial or a small business, we can help you get connected to the right outreach professional to assist. So often we refer to energy efficiency, or we think of energy efficiency projects as maybe lighting upgrades or putting a VFD on something. And while those are great projects and will certainly save your organization, there is just so much more to cover. We can sometimes become pigeoned into what we think an energy project is, and maybe don't consider that a project could qualify for incentives because we're viewing that capital cost a certain way, or that capital spend. And especially now, it's not uncommon for me to hear an account or a customer say, you know, we don't have capital available for energy efficiency right now. I'm hearing this more than ever at this time as we're recovering from COVID-19 and from the last year. But what do I mean by reviewing projects a certain way, or viewing that capital allocation a certain way? Well, maybe your organization is more concerned about safety improvements right now, or maybe your organization and its leadership are prioritizing production and improving quality. After all, that's how businesses make money, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that all of those projects do have the potential to be energy efficiency projects and have the potential to qualify for ComEd energy efficiency incentives and support. The expansive ComEd incentive portfolio is attempting to reframe the conversation around energy efficiency so it responds to your businesses and your business needs and serves the main objectives rather than the other way around. So we at ComEd Energy Efficiency Program are here to speak in the right terms with you and to assist you and your organization complete those beneficial projects. Right now, I'm assisting an industrial customer receive incentives for what they're internally referring to as their 2021 health and safety project. This manufacturer wanted to upgrade their ventilation and their dust collection system on the manufacturing floor. Their main goal for making this swap from that existing media style filtration unit to the new electromagnetic filtration system was to improve air quality for their employees and the environment for their employees. But because they contacted the program and asked, we were able to quantify and prove energy savings for this project. We're currently in the final stages, the measurement and verification, that's the final stage of the incentive process, but anticipate a $50,000 incentive to be paid to this customer for what they originally thought of as their health and safety project, but really has some great energy benefits.
Oh, that's quite substantive.
Yeah. The slide changes. Like in the case of that previous customer's HSE benefit project, there's also a lot of non-energy reasons why your business or your facilities complete upgrades and capital projects. Maybe you're like another ComEd customer that I'm assisting, they needed to expand rapidly to meet increased product demand. And we were able to help pay incentives to this plastic manufacturer as they added to their compressed air system, added to their process cooling, bought new production equipment, a new injection molding machine, and finally converted their facility lighting to LED. Another case where the project was originally driven by a production goal, but had real energy savings potential and received those ComEd incentives. So now let's pivot from what could be an energy efficiency project to how your organization can leverage the expansive ComEd programs. These offerings can help take that bite out of the project's financial impact. And your utility and your experienced outreach partners are here to help you vet those projects. Here I've listed the major programs that ComEd is offering its industrial sector customers. Through these programs, your facility can access anything from a quick compressed air leak fix repair to a full-scale industrial study. Let's say you're looking for assistance identifying possible projects. Well, we offer full facility audits, or if you're looking for one system in particular, we can offer a targeted system study to help. If you're doing any capital upgrades, we likely can make it an energy efficiency project and help offset a significant portion of that capital project cost with incentives. If you're renovating, adding on, maybe building a brand new building, we have a program to assist with that efficient design and help with the new equipment purchase. And finally, maybe you're just looking for some quick ways to reduce your bill, your energy consumption. We can probably help through our instant discount operational or fix it now programs. Whatever position your company's in, there's an offering that can be leveraged to help you complete your project and your facility goals. We just need to know a bit more about your situation to help select something that fits. You have resources and programs designed to help you throughout your project's life cycle, whether you have a lot or a little capital, or a lot or a little time to commit to getting that project done. There is a program available.
Joan, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You have a new industrial building that is just about to start construction, but they don't have an end user right now. Would you say your program is something that the building owner should already install, or wait till they have an end user and then approach ComEd to see what needs to be done?
So to take part in the program, you do have to have an account with ComEd.
Okay.
So it depends, but I assume if they're in construction, they've already kind of set up those utilities. So the answer is really the sooner, the better to get involved with the program.
Okay.
Yeah, great question. Thank you. So let's, talk about maybe a few case studies about what the efficiency program can offer. Here's an example of a customer here in Hanover Park who took advantage of our free ComEd facility assessment. So this manufacturer was able to receive a full facility audit that identified and provided basic cost analysis for projects covering process cooling, HVAC, compressed air, and lighting. The facility assessment was able to identify a list of projects that, if this customer were to implement, would save the facility over 20% of their current energy spend. And again, the customer received all of this in a nice report for free through that facility assessment program.
Great.
And this is our second and final case study for today. Here, a plastics manufacturer was able to have their compressed air system project completely funded by incentives received through ComEd's program. They were able to complete a significant system design upgrade and through our comprehensive study offering. The payback was immediate. So along with the expansive programs ComEd is offering, this year ComEd is offering a couple ways where you can receive an incentive multiplier. Our comprehensive energy savings rewards you an extra 20% for completing 3 or more qualifying energy efficiency projects. And you have 2 full years to complete those projects to receive that extra 20%. With our custom combo, you can receive an higher incentive rate if you pair your custom project with another program offering. For our private businesses, that's about 25% increase in incentives and another great way to help your project's ROI. So today, I really have 2 main takeaways for everyone. One is run any project your company is doing through your outreach professional in the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. It likely qualifies for incentives. And second is you really don't need to do any of this on your own. Every day we're here to talk to customers considering and implementing projects. Let us help you, let us help your vendor or your contractor in claiming these project incentives.
Wow, that's awesome.
So outreach engineers, professionals like myself, are here to be your facilities all-in-one tool. And we're available to help guide you through the necessary considerations for your project, help you and work with your vendors to navigate that incentive process, whether maybe it's just to assist with completing the initial applications or manage that incentive process so it lines up and meets your project's timeline needs. We're really here to help. And here in Hanover Park, Rick and I are the 2 industrial outreach engineers available to assist. And if your facility isn't industrial, there are other outreach and resources available to you. It would be my absolute pleasure to help you connect with that person. A great first step is either to connect with Rick or myself, or let us help you connect with your correct outreach person. We can offer one-on-one assistance to discuss your unique project and your facility's goals. We can do this either remotely or come to you on site. We'll work with you to develop a strategy for taking advantage of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program and really maximize your incentives. And finally, to conclude, here are some additional online resources. This first link is the web address to ComEd's Energy Efficiency Program. You can find here a list of our 2021 incentive rates, the programs I spoke about briefly today. You can look up who is on that authorized energy efficiency outreach team, and service providers and project distributors who participate in the program and can help you get those incentives. And in the second link, this is to ComEd's complimentary Business Energy Analyzer portal. In this portal, you can find your facility's meter data uploaded, and you can view your facility's data hourly, daily, monthly consumption to analyze your facility's energy use. It's a great online tool, and again, free to you as a ComEd customer.
That's great.
So,
Joan,
yeah,
if I may,
go ahead. Yeah, please.
turn the mute off. One of the words that jumped out at me in your presentation was an assessment. So if we're looking to build out, bring inclusiveness to our industrial park and our industrial areas, is there a fee for a firm to achieve an assessment? What's the, I guess, I don't know, I want to say pathway. I think you gave some good examples there, but how should, if the mayor runs into one of our industrial owners,
Users.
what's my first thing out of my mouth? I mean, is an assessment available to them? Who do they go to? Or do I just say, Schuber, you got it?
So one of, the great kind of comprehensive offerings we offer is that facility assessment I touched upon. And this is free to any customer, but they need a peak demand of 200 kilowatts or more. So they can reach out to us. We can look at their profile and help them schedule that service. What happens is it's usually around a 2-hour walk around. We'll send out an engineer to their facility to help them identify projects and incentives that they could implement it for their facility, and they get a really nice report at the end of that experience. It's a great first step in helping them identify.
Good.
So follow-up question, the facility needs to have at least 200 kilowatt per hour. So is there a minimum square footage, say, that the business needs to be in order to be able to be eligible for this program? So that or is it like a small mom and pop coffee shop probably is not going to be eligible, or would they?
So the small business customers, they qualify for another program, our small business incentives. And
Okay.
if anyone's on the line who would like those incentives, I'd be happy to connect them to that outreach person with that information. But it is, a different kind of incentive structure for them to take advantage.
This is more industrial and bigger.
Yeah, this would be for I'm with larger size industry.
Okay. And again, is there a minimum square footage that you can think of, at least 50,000 square feet, or?
For that facility assessment, there is no minimum. It's just that power consumption.
Okay. Thank you. Mayor, sorry, I thought you were about to say something too. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I just trying to, we talked about bringing our industrial areas in, and how I relate that in that environment, I think is a key component for me, because Shubham, I'm a busybody out there, and I do contact them and talk to them about how many. I guess we're looking at square footage or minimum bill, but when I hear of an assessment where you can come out and just do a walk around for maybe 2 hours, would be a good pathway.
Yeah.
You get folks on that path, whether or not they want to jump in or jump out, but it gives them an idea. Maybe they can save themselves some money in the process, and every $100,000 you save could be another employee helping your business grow. So,
True. I'm
not saying you're going to save $100,000 every month, but the impacts can certainly be there over time.
And like the mayor said, we have 3 Class A industrial parks. So it would be great if some of them are able to take advantage of this program.
Yeah, the facility assessment's a great place to start. Larger customers, they can qualify for more extensive audits and support and engineering. So really a great step would be to have them connect with me or with Rick, and we can kind of give them that one-on-one and customize their experience in the program.
We will certainly pass this info to our, I think they also have property management organizations. So perhaps they can convey this information and this presentation to their industrial customers as well. Great. I am not seeing any additional questions in the Q&A or chat box. So if you want.
But Hubert, this presentation will be on our website, correct? And
yes, sir.
For people to follow up. So that's a good.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
We will try to share it, not just on the website, but also through Facebook, through the Business Matters newsletter that goes out, and any other which way we can e-blast it to the Property Owners Association, etc. as well, to convey it and make our industrial businesses aware.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that, I'm not seeing any other questions. If you wanted to move on to the next part of the presentation.
Sure thing. Yeah, I'd be happy to. All right. Thank you again for the introduction before. Just a quick reminder, my name is Miller. I'm with ComEd's Green Power Connection team. Really, our team's role within ComEd is to help customers better understand the solar options, the incentives, everything that goes with the solar journey that a customer goes on. We can help assist our customers with that, better understand the process, the applications, the timeline, things of that nature. And a lot of people, their reaction when they hear that ComEd has a solar team is that this team. ComEd does not sell or install solar directly. So what is the role of the solar team at ComEd? And really, the reason a solar team was made at ComEd was right around when the Future Energy Jobs Act was passed in 2017. And the Future Energy Jobs Act, or FEJA, was legislature that really is what kickstarted the growth of solar in our area. It provided an outline for funding and goals and targets to hit renewable energy targets in our state. And with that, provided incentives to customers. And that's really what made it so financially appealing to go solar in our state recently. And that's maybe why you've seen so many more solar projects in the area as opposed to maybe 5 years ago. So when that legislature was passed, ComEd was preparing, anticipating that there will be a large growth of solar in our territory. So to better prepare for that and better prepare our customers for that, one thing we did was create this solar team. So the My Green Power Connection team that I am on is to help customers navigate through that solar journey and provide a source of expertise. So one thing that a lot of solar customers noticed early on in the process is that there's a lot of information out there, but it's hard to find out like who is a reliable source with this information. So that's a big thing about our team. We want to be that source of information that customers can go to. So maybe they hear some claims from a solar installer that, you know, they will get a check in the mail for their solar, things like that. Customers can call our team and just verify, you know, is this true, things of that nature. So we always want to be that service to our customers and be a source of truth of all things solar for our customers. Along with the solar team, the My Green Power Connection team, we also created a bunch of very helpful resources on our website to better educate customers on the options and available incentives with solar. So if we have some time, I do want to go over some of those available resources online. Before that, though, I just want to outline some of the options available to customers in terms of going solar, as well as available incentives or programs you can participate in with solar as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with that. I want to keep in this slide because still solar is failing in our area, and I just want to reinforce that solar is a very viable option in our area. A very common myth is that, you know, we get a lot of clouds, you know, in our winter, we don't see the sun for maybe a month or two in the year. So solar probably isn't a good option for us, right? So that is false. That is just a myth. Solar is still the most abundantly available renewable energy resource available on the planet. So even in our area, in our region, there's plenty of sun to go around to make it a feasible alternate energy source. So again, just like with other renewable energy projects, solar energy produces zero emissions, so clean energy. And again, even if you're not using that energy directly, we have a lot of great programs that I'm going to get into that allows you to get credits on your ComEd bill for what that energy is worth. So even if you're not using the solar directly, you're still going to get benefits of your solar system. So a few of those options I mentioned before. So when people think of solar, I think the first image that goes into their head is some solar panels on a facility's rooftop. And that is the most common of solar. You consider that private solar energy system. So that is directly tied in to the customer behind the customer's meter and will directly offset energy usage when solar is being produced and the customer needs to use energy at that time. So a great application for solar, again, this is the most conventional means of installing solar, but either maybe it's not, it has a high upfront cost sometimes, so some customers may not want to invest in it, or maybe their roof is just not a good candidate for solar. If any of those are the case, community solar is another fantastic option for customers. This is growing more and more, so you likely will be seeing more advertisements about signing up for community solar in the near future as these projects continue to get installed and come online. Again, community solar can be a great alternative to private solar. Community solar we'll get into in a bit here is not solar installed on your property. Generally, it's a large solar system installed by a third-party developer, and it will not be located on your property. It could be located anywhere in our service territory, and you can participate in that solar program. So the solar installation itself does not need to be in your town or county, anything like that. As long as it is located in our service territory and you are a ComEd customer, you are eligible to sign up for that community solar program. So how community solar works, like I mentioned before, with a private solar energy system, that solar energy can go directly to offsetting your energy needs. Community solar works a bit differently, where all of the energy produced by this big third party, often referred to as a farm, all of that energy that generated is sent out to the grid. However, at ComEd, we're able to record how much energy is produced by that through our smart meters. And everyone who subscribes to this project, we will know how much your portion of your subscription produced during your monthly period. And we'll apply bill credits to your ComEd bill to reduce your charges on that bill. So again, community solar is a great option in that sense, where you can still get solar without having solar on your property directly. Now, I mentioned that it can be a good alternative to private solar, but you can also participate in community solar along with private solar. So one common application for that is, say, a customer wants to offset as much as they can with solar, but covering their roof with solar panels could only offset about 50% of their ComEd bill. You can participate in both private solar and community solar to try and further offset that bill with solar energy. So really great to use them in tandem like that as well. So a lot of great options there in terms of how you can participate in these programs.
So Paul, you mentioned ComEd is not the one actually being the provider of the solar. So when you say community solar, these are third-party vendors that have the solar farms that individual homes or businesses could subscribe to and get the benefit. But
That's
it would not be through ComEd?
Not directly through ComEd right now. So most likely, if you were to subscribe to one of these projects, you'd either be calling into that third-party developer or signing up through their website. But the bills will be reflected generally. The information will be showed on a ComEd bill. If you are with a third-party energy supplier, the actual credits may show up on that bill, but the ComEd bill itself will at least show how much energy was produced based off your subscription size.
What do you mean subscription size?
So generally, these large solar farms installed by these third-party developers who own and operate the community solar projects are very large in terms of capacity, let's say around 2 megawatts in size. In that program, I would choose to subscribe to a portion of that system. So of that 2 megawatts total of that solar farm, I'm going to choose to subscribe to 10 kilowatts of that system. So essentially 10 kilowatts of worth of energy production from that solar farm is essentially mine that I'm subscribing to. So I will receive the bill credits of that 10 kilowatts of energy production essentially.
And there's a cost for subscription.
Right. That would be established with the developer and yourself on how that payment fee will be. Sometimes it is a flat fee you will pay. In other occasions, some of these developers offer a payment plan where their fee is only a percentage of the credits you earn. And what I like about those payment structures is that if, let's say in the winter, the solar farm doesn't produce as much energy, you're never going to have to pay more money for your subscription than you're going to get on credits on your bill. So even if it's small, you're always going to get savings with that financial structure, which is nice.
Thank you.
Of course. So that was just a little bit on community solar. Going back to private solar. So community solar is a way to earn credits on your bill. Again, that is without having solar installed on your property directly. So with private solar, you still can get credits on your bill for any excess energy you produce that is not used directly at your home or facility. And that would be done through our net metering program. So this is a fantastic program that we offer to our customers, where, like I mentioned before, anytime your solar system produces more energy than what your home or business needs at the time, the excess energy will flow out to the grid. And with smart meters, we can track how much energy you send out to the grid. And with the net metering program, you will get credits on your bill for what that energy is worth. So this goes back to that statement I said earlier, where even if you aren't using all of the energy directly yourself, you're still going to get the benefit of the solar energy you're producing. So again, a really great program. And I think this graphic is really helpful in terms of understanding how that flow of energy works. Some customers are misunderstood, thinking that all the energy that they produce with their private solar energy system goes out to the grid, and they should receive bill credits for that. So that's not exactly the case. If your facility needs to use energy while your solar energy system is producing energy, you will first use solar before having to purchase any energy for the grid. So again, that's the initial benefit of solar energy. Less dependence on the grid for energy. You're producing it yourself, you're offsetting it yourself. This is really helpful because, of course, every kilowatt hour of energy you produce and use from your solar system is a kilowatt hour you no longer need to purchase from the grid. So of course, that's going to lower your bill. It could help with peak demand charges as well. So a lot of great benefits there with having a private solar energy system. There are a few eligibility requirements to be on the net metering program. So I just wanted to go over those really briefly. So a flat system size cap of 2 megawatts is there. So you can't install a larger system size than that to be eligible to participate in the net metering program. Along with that, the system you install does need to be sized to offset your load. So what that means is that we will look at what the estimated amount of energy the system that you plan to install is estimated to produce. And we're going to compare that to the past 12 months of your usage to ensure that the production will not exceed your usage. And that goes back to the net metering eligibility. And that's because the net metering program was set up in a way for customers who have a solar system that is sized to offset their load. So that's how we compare it. So say for business customers who just moved into a new facility and they don't have 12 months of usage, in those scenarios, we are going to use class averages for whatever rate type you are on to compare to. So even if you just move into a building, you can potentially be on the net metering program, be eligible, and start receiving credits on your bill that way as well.
So the solar system that gets installed is in line with your own or that business's needs. It's not like they can install something that can produce excess energy.
Generally, yes. To participate in the net metering program. So say a customer knows their usage is gonna increase in the near future. Maybe they're buying more machinery or they're buying EV charging stations. The customer can of course install more solar than what they currently are eligible for right now when we're comparing the estimated production to their current past 12 months of usage. That's okay, they can install it, that's fine. They just likely would not be eligible to be on the net metering program in the meantime until their usage does catch up to the size of their system and what that's estimated to produce. So it's not like we're gonna stop customers from installing solar if they want to install more than what they need at the time. It's just, there's that caveat that they may need to apply for net metering down the line.
So this is being done to sort of discourage or to keep in check businesses to be using this as a, I wouldn't say money making, but financially using this as a revenue source?
Yeah. So that's a really good point. So the way net metering was set up in our state was intended, to help a customer offset their own needs, and it is not intended for a customer to make money or profit anyway. So again, with solar in our state, it's more about savings than making money. Okay. Of course, how you can view it goes either way, but that's why we compare the usage to the estimated production, because this should be sized for the customer and not larger than intended.
Okay.
So like I mentioned before, so a customer can have private solar on their facility be participating in net metering, but let's say they have a very large facility, they have a ton of usage, and what's on their roof does not offset all of their usage. Again, that customer can also participate in a community solar program to try and further offset their current usage with solar. One thing we do look at for customers who are doing that, and similarly for customers who are just participating in community solar, we have that similar check where we're going to compare the estimated production of their subscription size to their past 12 months of usage. So customers who are participating in both private solar and community solar, we are going to compare the estimated production of the combined both of your subscription and your system size at your facility. So one thing to keep in mind there. So a few other benefits or incentives that I want to highlight today. One is the DG rebate, often referred to as a smart inverter rebate. So this is offered by ComEd, a really great program. Right now, this is for commercial customers only and community solar programs. And what it is a $250 rebate for every kilowatt of DC nameplate capacity you have installed. So to put that in perspective, say a customer installs 2 megawatts of DC solar at their facility, they would be eligible for a DG rebate of $500,000. So this is a great program. It really helps make solar a lot more financially feasible. So right now, like I mentioned, it is a $250 rebate. It is subject to change sometime in the future. Unfortunately, we don't exactly know when that will occur. So just wanted to put that out there that right now this is the rate, but it could change in the future. A few of the requirements for the DG rebate is that the customer does need to be on net metering. So again, this goes back to the importance of sizing your system for your energy needs. So that you are on net metering to also be eligible for this rebate. Again, that's why a lot of customers do size their systems to be eligible for net metering so that they can receive some of these additional incentives.
Are you able to provide, I'm a visual person and I'm trying to visualize when you say so many kilowatts, I don't know what that means. So in terms of size for a typical roof, would you say, how many solar panels are we talking about for one of these units that you said? Just so I have some idea of, this is the size of like a 10 by 10 area or 100 by 100 area. Just give me some perspective so it makes it a little quantifiable.
Sure, yeah. So one perspective, like 1 kilowatt is roughly about, I would say, 3 solar panels these days. So if you've seen a solar panel, they're fairly large panels. So about like, my height, 5 to 6 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet wide. So big panels, but yeah, it only takes a few to reach a kilowatt. But of course, it takes 1,000 kilowatts to reach a megawatt. So if you can visualize a 2 megawatt system better, it is rather large. Usually for rooftop solar, even for commercial businesses, I would say it's hard to reach 2 megawatts on your rooftop alone. Generally, you would see closer to around 1 megawatt, depending on your facility size.
And these panels, I bet, are heavy as well. So the roofs need to be designed in a certain way or reinforced in order to carry that dead load?
Yeah, generally, yes. So that's a very good point and a good consideration all businesses need to make before going into finding out if solar is right for them further is, would I need structural upgrades of my facility? Generally, a third-party solar installer would provide a site survey free of charge to you where they would go in and inspect your structure and let you know from their end if they think structural upgrades are required. But it is often something to think about. So these days when solar is growing in our state, a lot more developers are thinking about that when they're constructing these commercial facilities, is that they are reinforcing the roof to ensure that it is compatible to take the additional load of the solar.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think it is something that any new construction should be thinking about for potential future use if they wanted to install solar panels. Now, The other example we have actually across the street from our village hall is a tire place that has on the front of their building, they have panels on the wall. And it is so integrated with the facade, you can't even tell that those are solar panels.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really good use. So I bet that that's another option, but that's probably limited on the amount of flat surface that you may have without a window and other, penetrations of the wall. So, but that could be another way.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. I've seen a lot of developers get very unique with the installations. Generally, the rooftop installation would be the least costly in terms of an installation perspective. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's definitely important to keep in mind, can my roof take this additional load?
Yes.
Does my roof need a re-roof? So that's another thing to consider. These solar panels are good for 20, 30 years. You have to consider, will my roof survive that length of the install underneath? So a lot of customers would consider doing a re-roof right before installing solar panels as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Was the federal income tax credit. So again, this is a federal incentive. Right now, it is 26% off the installed cost of the system. And this would be something you could, a credit you could use come tax time for your tax liability. So again, 26% of the installed cost of the system is really huge. Again, a big factor in what's making going solar so financially feasible right now is this is very helpful. So again, this is not a check in the mail. It is just for offsetting your tax liability. But let's say your tax liability is lower than what this credit would give you. This credit does roll over to future tax months as well. So that's something just to consider, is there's no concern of, having more of a tax credit than your tax liability. That's no concern. This will get utilized sometime in the future. So definitely beneficial. One thing to highlight though, is that it is rolling down in terms of how much of a credit it is offering. Right now it is 26%. That is good until 2023. 2023 is when it will begin stepping down to 22%, and then it will be a flat 10% starting in 2024 for commercial customers. But this incentive does go away in 2024 for residential customers. So it's something to keep in mind as well for that. And as you can see at the bottom, of course, this is a tax credit. So not-for-profit customers would not be eligible to receive this. One more thing to note of this as well, definitely want to keep in mind who is actually the owner of the solar system. If you choose to lease a system, it would be the solar developer who can claim this tax credit. And a lot of that goes back to other incentives as well, is who is the owner of the system generally relates to who can claim the incentive or tax credit. But say you are leasing the system and they are claiming the tax credit, generally the developer rolls down those cost savings to the customer. So even if you're not getting it directly, it probably is reflected in what you're paying for the system. All right, so one more incentive I wanted to cover briefly was renewable energy credits, or commonly referred to as RECs, or SRECs for solar renewable energy credits. A lot of you may have heard of these before. It is one way to get some income from your system, and really what it is that we are going to look at how much energy your system is estimated to produce over a 15-year period. And every megawatt hour that you produce over that 15-year period, you earn what is considered a renewable energy credit. So that credit is something that is tradable and can be viewed as a monetary type of commodity where you can sell those credits. So right now the state is purchasing those credits. This is all done through what's called the Adjustable Block Program that is administered by the Illinois Power Agency. So they are the ones who are setting the prices for what your credits are worth, things of that nature. The applications are all done through the IPA. So one thing to note though, however, that this is done in program years or iterations of the program. So they set up a certain amount of capacity to purchase RECs from based on the REC pricing. And right now, that first iteration of the program all of the RECs are fully allocated, or the capacity is. So right now, there is no available RECs to be sold to the state, but there likely will be a new program in the future. I think they're just deciding on where the funding's coming from for this program. So I just wanted to make sure that customers were aware that this is not available right now, but it likely will be in the future. And I definitely would consider this in terms of, you know, the financial models you may make in terms of whether going solar is right for you, because I do believe that this will start up again, hopefully soon, once the funding is set up. But keep in mind that this will not be available if you are installing solar in the near future. Okay, so we made it toward the end of my part. So I just really quickly wanted to highlight some of the available resources we have on ComEd's website that really help customers decide if going solar is right for them and understanding options. So really briefly, I just want to go over a few of those resources on our website. So the solar checklist, this is really great. It's just a step-by-step guide that helps you organize what you need to do and when you need to do it to keep your project on track. So, you know, this seems very straightforward, but we get a lot of calls from customers saying, I want to go solar, where do I start? So this is just that really basic guide on like where to start, how to get started. So we recommend customers follow this process to make sure that their solar journey is a smooth one. So one of my favorite tools that we have on our website is the solar calculator. So this is a really cool resource where you can go in, you can either sign into your ComEd My account, or you can type in your address. And what it'll do is it'll automatically pull up a satellite image of your home or business facility. And as you can see in the image there, it's showing yellow dots all over the roof. It's letting you know how good is your solar access on that roof. It's gonna let you know, like, is your roof a good candidate for solar? And then it'll give you a breakdown based on either if you did log into your ComEd My account, or if you input an estimated monthly bill size, it's gonna try and fit as much solar on your roof as possible to offset your bill size. And then from there, it's gonna give you that breakdown of what is the upfront cost of this system, what is the cost after incentives, and what is the rough payback period of this system where I can get that return on my investment. So again, what I like about this tool is that you can get a great idea in your head of what to expect in terms of solar on your roof or your property before even speaking with one of these solar developers. So again, you know that their price may either be high or low based off of this calculator. Again, this is just an estimate. It's really just meant for an educational tool. So the estimates are not meant to be taken super seriously. But again, it just gets you a better idea in your head, like how much roughly would this cost me? And then after incentives, what would that look like? And as you can see in this image here, the incentives really make a big impact on the cost of these solar systems. Back when attractive were available, we were seeing the reduction in the upfront cost of systems from 40 to 60%. And again, that's huge. That's really what's driving interest in solar so much recently. So if you go through that solar calculator page, you like everything you see, you decide, yes, I do want to go solar. What's the next step? Generally, it would be speaking with a contractor. Like I mentioned before, ComEd does not sell or install solar ourselves, nor do we partner with any company. So we can't refer a good company to you, anything like that, but we do provide this guide on finding a customer. And what this page really outlines is recommending that you identify multiple qualified contractors, get proposals from multiple contractors. You want to compare what they're offering to you. Maybe two contractors are offering the same system size to you, but you really want to look into the components as well. What are they selling you? What is the inverter, the panels? What is the warranty on those? What is the lifespan? Because maybe the cheaper option up front in the long run is not the best option. So you definitely want to consider all of that. And a big way to do that is compare offers from multiple developers. So from there, once the design is met, everything like that, you will apply for interconnection and the programs like net metering. So the interconnection, that's the physical connection to our grid. Like we discussed, even if you go solar, you likely are not gonna need just solar. You likely will need to be connected to our grid, most likely times during nighttime, things like that. Usually commercial businesses use so much energy that the solar cannot offset anything. That's why that connection to our grid is necessary. And we make that application to interconnect your solar system to our grid very easy through this online portal. Again, you can apply for net metering, the DG rebate, all through this portal as well. One thing I would note is that the application process done through this portal typically is done through your solar developer. They will offer that service of doing all this work for you. So you may not need to worry about this, but this is accessible to customers. So you definitely can apply if you would like yourself. And that all is done online through this portal, which is really streamlined, really great. And then say you did not apply for the applications yourself, even if you did not, you can still log into your ComEd My account. If the email associated to your ComEd account was put on the application, you will get this customer portal, this project tracker. I like to relate this to the Domino's pizza tracker. You know what stage your system is in and when it's going to be ready. So you don't have to constantly ask your developer or call ComEd to see, oh, were my applications completed yet? That will all be visible to you through your ComEd My account. Okay, and that's all the content I had today. I don't know if there were any available additional questions or anything like that.
I don't see any more questions in the chat, but I would like to share that one of our attendees actually is from Cook County. This is it's Stephanie Benito. Stephanie, go ahead and enter your info in the chat. And she has some info about Cook County's energy program as well, CPACE, I think. And I'm inviting her to share info in the chat. I don't know how it correlates with ComEd, et cetera, but for any of our businesses in Cook County, most of our larger industrial businesses are in DuPage though. However, this is good info for any commercial property as well.
Great, yeah, definitely.
And Stephanie, thank you for putting that info in the chat. And I'm not, yep, CPACE.
Hello. So yeah, it's nice to have someone from Cook County on board. And she put up a chat item that provides an additional link. And is there any way we can get her to speak to the Cook County component? Do we know how to manage that?
So she's put in information if any Cook County industrial business or commercial business wanted to contact her.
Okay.
There's another gentleman actually whose contact info is in the chat, Mr. Mohammad Ilahi, who's the Deputy Director of Planning and Development, who can also answer some questions, but there's a lot of good info in the chat itself. I'm not sure if we can have her be a panelist and be able to speak, but she's able to type in her questions in the chat or Q&A.
We can't hear from an attendee?
They would need to be a panelist to be able to speak. That's why the Q&A portion is the one that works to
Okay, all right.
to communicate. Sorry, man. Yeah. But this is good info, yeah.
All right, so she shared it.
Yes. And most of our, I would say, except for one big industrial building, all of our industrial is in DuPage.
Okay.
But it sounds like this is something that larger commercial property owners could benefit from as well.
All right, so we captured her information. It looks like
Yes.
turned it off, and
Certainly. Yeah.
I don't know how to do all that.
Oh,
And I'd certainly like to see it all. Okay,
Yeah.
well, listen, I think it's we've come to the close, have we not? And we'll have to have a part 2, I believe. Joan, Paul, thank you so much. I assume you all can hear me.
Yep.
But we'll have this recorded and be on our someplace available. And I want to thank you all for your time, your energy. How's that for a play on words? Thank you very much for embracing our audience and our time. I'm sure we're all a lot smarter because of it. And I am an energy advocate and do what I can when I can and how I can. So thank you all very much with that. Shubhra, any last thoughts before we sign off?
Thank you for our panelists. Ed, did you have any additional comments from ComEd's perspective? Otherwise, this was fantastic info, and we'll certainly share, promote it. I would invite any of our panelists for any closing comments.
Thank you for having us. We look forward to helping.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Always like doing these.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate everybody's time.